All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. 2025 is off and running here on All in Aggies. Ben Peck. And just a quick episode for you today where we discuss the big transfer news for Texas A&M. Noah Thomas entering the transfer portal for the Aggies. And where does this put the wide receiver room heading into, 2025? Again, Happy New Year. Hope you're having a great day. Just watched some college football. Arizona State choking, man. And by the way, I'm old enough to remember when that was targeting, but I digress. And then I wish we got a better Rose Bowl game. But let's get back to the topic at hand. Noah Thomas going in the portal. Now, a couple things I want to talk about. First and foremost, let's just talk about what kind of production you're losing. You're losing 39 receptions, 574 yards, 8 touchdowns, 14.7 yards per catch for Noah Thomas this past season. He was one of your most reliable guys, and more importantly, a difference maker, just a different type of body than you have across the rest of the roster. Here is where you run into trouble, in my mind, if Noah Thomas is not on the team in 2025. We've talked about the additions, and we'll go through them once again. But some of the guys you'll have coming back, Terry Bussey, 6 feet tall. And I'm just kind of going through in no particular order. These are some of the guys on the roster right now. As I said, Terry Bussey, 6 feet tall. Ashton Bethel-Roman, 6'1". Ernest Campbell, 5'9". Go down the list. And Isaiah Williams, 6 foot flat. What about some of the guys in the portal? Mario Craver. He is 5'10". Kevin Concepcion, if I'm not mistaken, he's around 6 foot, 5'11". Micah Hudson, 5-star. He is not the tallest guy in the world. I hope not the highest guy in the world either. 6 foot flat. You see where the problem lies. Noah Thomas, 6'6". Can't teach that kind of size. And that's just something that you are going to be limited in terms of the differentiation you're going to be able to have if he is, your only guy with size not there. I will say Jerome Miles is like 6'2", 6'3", so he offers a little bit of size, but just the variety, end zone targets, especially, Donovan Green leaving from the tight end position. He was a guy, if he would have been back, you could have used in there to differentiate as well. Theo's 6'6", that helps. And like I said, Jerome Miles, 6'2", 6'3". But having a guy like Noah Thomas just in your arsenal is useful. It reminds me almost of like Samu Tamanapepe, big load, big fella. And maybe he doesn't need to be out there all the time, but situationally, if you need to lean on him, you can. Not to mention, as we said, he was a pretty solid receiver for the Aggies. I think he was their leading receiver yards-wise this past year, and just has been a big part of the team for a while. So that hurts. But that's my big thing, is losing his type of frame. I think he's a guy, if he works out, could be like a mid-round NFL pick, maybe like second, third round in the most ideal scenario. Obviously, it hasn't clicked to this level to this point, but still, and he was battling some injuries here and there along the way as well. I think freshman year, if I'm not mistaken, cut short due to injury. Mike Elko mentioned he was battling some injuries in the bowl game. Seemed pretty upbeat after the bowl game. Obviously they made him available to talk to us. Now, I want to venture this into part 2 of the conversation. Is this truly goodbye to Noah Thomas? There's been some speculation, some reporting. I believe Billy Lucci's done some reporting on TexAgs along these regards. Not exactly clear that A&M is completely out of it for Noah Thomas for next year. Keep in mind the portal deadline came up, I believe it was like the 28th or so, and then the schools had 48 hours to process these requests. So this could be a situation where deadline's coming up. If you're not totally sure, just like we saw with the baseball team, remember we saw darn near the whole baseball team go in the transfer portal. Now, I know that was a coaching change, and once they got it back with early, they all came out. But and that was maybe more of a volatile situation than you'll see here necessarily. Like that was a thing where one coaching hire basically directly led to all these guys staying. I'm not sure anything A&M could do would be that drastic. And quite frankly, you're not going to do anything coaching wise with the receivers with how you've done the portal. So I think I guess my way of saying that is I don't know how much difference anything A&M can do will make, other than I think this is just going to have to be a decision for Noah in terms of where does he fit, what's best for him, is he better off as a piece in this offense where he doesn't maybe have to be the guy. Maybe Micah Hudson comes in or Kevin Concepcion certainly comes in and they really hit their stride and they take a lot of attention off Noah Thomas and he's able to wreak havoc and be a real red zone threat and carve out a bigger role here at A&M than he would be able to elsewhere. Or maybe elsewhere he's able to be a higher role guy in a lesser conference against lower competition, maybe have better numbers, but maybe based on the competition that limits scouts' evaluation of him and his upside and his opportunities beyond next season when he looks to go to the NFL. So I think there's decisions to be made. One team I'd be looking out for, by the way, if he were to move out to, would be Houston, just with obviously reuniting with Connor Wigman. I think he and Connor seem to have a pretty good rapport, and they definitely clicked, especially early on his freshman year. That would be, if he does leave, obviously a kid from, I believe, from Dickinson, right? So kind of going back home, closer to home. Not that A&M's that far away, but Clear Springs. But, being even more of a hometown kid, even than he is at A&M. So that's where my mind's at. I think A&M can stomach the loss if they need to, but you'd rather have them than not. If for anything else, the versatility. You've got a ton of guys who are 6 foot flat and dynamic. You've got a handful that are shorter than that, but even quicker and faster and speedier and all this stuff. You don't have a ton of guys that have that type of frame. To be honest, there's not many out there to begin with, especially that can play at that high enough of a level. So keep them if you can. Not saying A&M isn't trying to, but fingers crossed. I think there's probably a better chance that you would keep a guy like him than most of the other guys you've seen to the portal at this point, because it was so late in the process. He did play in the bowl game. If he really didn't want to be at A&M and this was a done deal, I think that ship would have sailed. So I can't imagine what would have changed from the bowl game to now, not to where he wouldn't consider moving on, but to where he would say, I've absolutely made my mind up. There's no chance I'd want to be at Texas A&M. So we'll see. That's the situation. That's the first big headline of the year in 2025 for Texas A&M. That'll do it for now. Again, be sure to subscribe, like the video if you could. Let us know what you think. We'll know what Thomas go. Will he stay? How does A&M adjust if he does go? Do they need to go after someone else? Are they okay with the group? Are you okay with the group they have coming back? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe. Help us out here. All in Aggies in 2025. Going to bring a lot of fun content your way throughout the year. Thanks so much, and we'll see you later on in 2025.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.